Okay, back in the day when I used to drink, I never mixed with anything but ice. And we used to have at least two ice houses here in town. One was called Abbott's and the other one was called American. And I've got pictures of both of those old ice houses. But when I used to drink, to get my ice, I used to just walk up to my refrigerator and hit the little button and ice would come out. But back when I was growing up, we had old ice cube trays that we used to fill up and put in the freezer and could get our ice cubes from here. But further back, they would bring blocks of ice. Where did they get these blocks of ice? Out here on the river. And they used to use saws. This is an old ice saw. They would cut the ice, big blocks out, and then to take them out, they would use what they called big ice tongs to bring the ice up and store them in the old ice houses. And they used to have ice blocks that could last because they would store them with straw or sawdust in them. But you used to have little carts and wagons and stuff that they would bring the ice around to your homes because everybody had an old wooden refrigerator. It was called an ice box, and there was a big tin place in it. And they used to chip the ice, big chunks of ice off these blocks with what you called an ice pick. They had bigger ones for way back in the day to make bigger blocks, but these ice picks is what they used back in the day. But way back in the day, the river out here used to freeze over. People could skate on it all the way to Perryville until they built the plants up top. Now the water doesn't freeze all the way across.
What plant?
They built the power plants and the nuclear power plant up there. And I didn't find out until a couple of years ago. I wondered why the river didn't freeze all the way across. And it's because of these power plants upriver. The water comes in there cooled, and to cool off their cooling area, their heated up areas, it comes out superheated. So the river temperature has heated way up. That's the reason the river does not freeze no more. Another piece of equipment that we used to use to make ice cubes back in the day, in this building it was used, Crosley made a thing called an icy ball. And this would set in an ice box. This side was set in the ice box and get cold. There used to be a little ice tray that's set in here and would make your ice cubes. This side would keep it warm, but this side out here, there was probably ammonia or some chemical in it that you heated up to cool your refrigerator or your ice box down.
Kind of heavy, isn't it, George?
Very heavy. But this was like, you could see these old square oak ice boxes, and this is what these would set into. And this was actually used in this building, the Pitcock's hardware store, way back in the day.
So they actually cut the ice out of the river?
Yes, they would go out. I have pictures of them out there cutting blocks of ice, and people walking out on the ice and skating out on the ice. But they would cut big blocks, probably 6 feet by 4 feet by however thick the ice was. And at one time, the ice was thick enough back in 1852 to take the railroad track, the train across. They would lay the tracks across and take the train across. That's how thick the ice would get. But I've been told and heard that it would only take 4 inches of solid ice. It'd have to be solid to hold up a locomotive to go across an ice place. But the ice used to probably get 12, 16 inches thick.
Okay. And?
You can find out all this information on our blog post and at bahoukas.net. And any information that you see, you can go click on our photos and click back through, see all the old photos we've ever put on. And if you have any old Havre de Grace information or Havre de Grace memorabilia, I would love to get it and scan it or donate it to me, and I'll put it in my Havre de Grace History Museum. Thank you.